Girls and young women today need strong role models, mentors, and care providers to foster what society, including social media, often undermines: a positive self-identity. In a new book, Powerful Girls: Raising Strong, Just, and Compassionate Young Women, author Anne Muno identifies the crucial pieces of knowledge necessary to raise confident girls today, and she joins me now on the couch. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kelly.
And so your commitment to empowering girls started at a young age with a violent, tragedy in your family, if you don't mind bringing that up.
We grew up in a whistle-stop suburb of Chicago, and when my sister was 16, she had just gotten her license. She had went to work at the mall, and I was at a sleepover at my friend's house. I was 10, and I learned that my sister didn't come home the night before. Come to find out that a boy from her school, a classmate, had tapped on the window and asked for a ride home, which in our town, people just took care of each other. That's what you did.
Yeah.
So she agreed, and he attempted to sexually assault her, and he realized she could identify him, and he ended up murdering her.
I'm so sorry.
From that immense loss, I became very passionate about understanding the ways in which we can help girls tap their power and trust their instincts, because my sense was, or our sense was, that people had a sense that this boy maybe had troubles or gave them feelings of unease. And so that's where my story began with this book, was really wanting to tell the story not only of my sister. The book is really a love note to my sister, my daughters, and also to the girls and women I've had the amazing opportunity to work with over the last 30 years. And so I believe that this book is an important tool for anyone who has the ability to influence the lives of girls aged 10 to 20 in terms of understanding and tapping their own power versus their powerlessness.
Gosh, definitely. And what do you think girls really need to then feel confident and powerful?
I think one thing we talk a lot about in the work I do and in the book is the idea of healthy girl culture. And healthy girl culture is girls creating a sense of belonging that's rooted in respect versus in being rooted in competition or what pits them against one another. And I think that when girls tap into that during adolescence, there's a ripple effect throughout their life of looking for and seeking ways to build healthy girl culture around them. And it's not accidental. It's not accidental. We, as the adults around them, as educators, as parents, as care providers, as aunties, as grandparents, we have the ability to spark those conversations about power and powerlessness with girls.
Definitely. And in your book, you outline several ways to empower girls. So I want to get into some of them, starting with your first one, what we can do as a community: create a healthy girl culture. So talk to me more about that.
Healthy girl culture, I think, to start with, is helping tell your own story as an elder, as an older person, as an influencer in a girl's life. What were your experiences of power and powerlessness when you were younger? And how do you feel like, and without projecting them on to girls, because their lives are different. They're in a different generation typically, or a few years older or younger than maybe you were at the time. But I think just being really open about your own sense of what were your experiences in healthy girl culture? What choices did you feel like you had or didn't have? What was your race consciousness? What were the ways in which you had healthy conflict with people around you? Did you know how to do that? So I think the book has 8 powers, and I learned and studied these powers over the last 25 years interviewing girls who had been in our programs many years ago, and these were the things that they said stayed with them, what mattered to them, and what mattered to the quality of all of their relationships ultimately, in terms of developing these forms of power when they were younger.
Yes, absolutely. And another one I want to mention too, learning to cultivate meaningful relationships is key. So as parents, how would we encourage something like that?
I want to definitely say that parents are obviously a huge source of that meaningful relationship, but I want to expand that to aunties and to mentors and to role models all around,
Yeah.
because we all have an opportunity to spark those conversations with girls. But I think the main thing is the vulnerability and the honesty about really not looking at it as one conversation, but as a real opportunity over time to help a girl plug into the ways in which she does have choices, the ways in which her identity, not her image, matters, the ways in which she can create healthy girl culture. And I think that is a huge piece of the message here, is that it's not accidental. Healthy girl culture is not the norm, but we know how to create it. We know how to create it, and we know that it has a huge impact on the lives of a girl as she gets older.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here
You're
today.
so
We really
welcome.
appreciate it.